Hello, this is Nick from PlanetReport.net. It's been a while since I've made a video, but I'm going to start doing them more because today my internet was off and I phoned up the company to ask about it, and it was because the internet company was upgrading the service and I didn't know about it, but it went from an upload speed of 1 megabyte and it's now 8, so that's like 8 times faster. So it was always a mission to upload stuff onto YouTube, but hopefully it's going to be a lot quicker, so I will be doing more videos now, I think. And this one is about pollinators, and as you all know, there's been a big decline in insects all around the world, butterflies, bees, etc. And bees play an important role in pollinating plants for food. So there's always talk about, if there was no bees left, the world would starve and all the rest of it. And there's some interesting data here I've got, which sort of makes things a lot clearer as to what would happen if all of a sudden there was no pollinating insects. And it's really interesting. It's by an organization called Our World in Data, and they've created the following infographic, which I'm going to show you. Okay, so the title is obviously How Dependent Are Food on Pollinator Insects, and they've broken it down into no dependency, little dependency, modest dependency, high dependency, and essential. Now, the things that are not dependent at all, so they're not, if there was no bumblebees flying around the place, it wouldn't matter because these would all still grow. And you've got cereals: wheat, maize, rice, sorghum, barley, rye, millet, oats, roots and tubers, cassava, potatoes, sweet potatoes, carrots, legumes, including lentils, peas and chickpeas, fruit and veg, including bananas, pineapples, grapes, lettuce and pepper, and sugar crops such as sugarcane and sugar beet, and some others. Asparagus, cabbages, castor oil seed, cauliflower, chicory roots, dates, garlic, hazelnuts, jojoba seeds, leeks, olives, onions, pistachios, quinoa, spinach, taro, walnuts, and yams. And then the next thing, we've got little dependency. So if there was no pollinators, the following would have a reduction of yield between 0 and 10%. So there'd be up to 10% less harvest of the following: fruit and veg, including oranges, tomatoes, lemons, limes, and papayas; oil crops, including palm, poppy seed, linseed, safflower seed; legumes, including beans, cowpeas, pigeon peas, and groundnuts, chilies, grapefruit, persimmons, and string beans. And the next category is modest dependency. So this would be a sizable reduction. If you're talking a commercial crop, all of a sudden without pollinators, you'd be looking at 10 to 40% reduction in the amount of crops. And it would be sunflower seeds, rape seeds, sesame, mustard seeds, soybeans, fruits including strawberries, currants, figs, gooseberries, eggplant, coconuts and okra, coffee beans, and broad beans, nuts, cartwright nuts, and seed cotton. So for example, with coffee, if the harvest was 40% less, let's say, because there was no pollinators, you'd be looking at a 40% increase in the cost of a cup of coffee. So there'd be a lot less to go around for everybody. And high dependency is a yield reduction of 40 to 90% without pollinators. And we've got fruits including apples, apricots, blueberries, cherries, mangoes, peaches, plums, pears, and raspberries; nuts including almonds, cashew nuts, cola nuts, avocados, cucumber, buckwheat, nutmeg, anise, fennel, and coriander. So let's say take the middle between the 40 and 90, so let's say 60% reduction without pollinators. That means things like apples and apricots, rather than being a relatively cheap fruit, would become like an expensive luxury. And then finally, we've got the essential. This is a yield reduction greater than 90% without pollinators. So you could pretty much say these things without pollinators would just pretty much collapse as being available unless they would be super expensive. And it'd be fruits including kiwi, melons, pumpkins, and watermelons. Cocoa beans, so chocolate would be almost impossible to buy. Brazil nuts, vanilla, and quinces. So that's all the different food products, and as you can see, it wouldn't be a case of like having no food at all, but there'd be sizable decreases. And these decreases are for when there is no pollinators at all. And of course, it might never get to that dramatic stage, but let's say it got to a stage where pollinators reduced by 50%. That would then mean that things on the last graphic, the ones with high dependency for pollinators, such as watermelons, for example, let's say it reduced by 50%. Well, it's at then 90 to 100% reduction if there was no pollinators. So if it was 50%, you'd be talking about like sort of 50% reduction in the number of watermelons available for sale in the shops. So our world and data have came to the conclusion that overall, measured in tons, there would be a decline in crop production without pollinators of 8% in low to middle income countries and 5% in high income countries. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.